Planes! Fire and rescue! Dusty to the rescue! Dusty Crophopper was a worldwide racing star. The little orange plane had become the hero of fans all around the globe by winning race after race. Racing was all Dusty wanted to do. It was his life. During a practice flight one day, Dusty's engine was damaged. Dottie, the mechanic tug, told him that if he flew too fast, his engine would fail and he would crash. Dusty couldn't race again until his engine was fixed. She gave Dusty a red warning light that would tell him when to slow down. "I'm so sorry," Dottie said. She didn't like to see her friends sad. While his friends searched far and wide for the right parts to fix his engine, Dusty learned that Propwas Junction needed a new firefighter. He wanted to help, so he flew to Piston Peak National Park where he could train to become a certified firefighter. When a fire broke out in the forest, Dusty watched the heroic Piston Peak Air Attack Team fly into action. The team was led by a brave rescue copter named Blade. Dusty realized that learning to be a firefighter was not going to be easy. Maru, the team's mechanic, removed Dusty's landing gear and replaced it with big pontoons that could carry water. Blade tried to teach Dusty how to scoop water out of the river. Dusty tried hard, but he almost crashed. Dusty studied hard. There was a lot to learn about putting out fires. Finally, Dusty had a chance to show what he could do. He sped through the obstacle course at Augurin Canyon, but when his warning light flashed, he had to slow down. "Why did you pull power?" Blade asked. Dusty was too embarrassed to tell Blade the truth. The next day, Dusty learned how to drop fire retardant to put out fires. It was hard for him to aim just right, but soon enough, he was able to put one out. Bullseye! Unfortunately, it was a family's campfire. "You just saved those folks from a nice vacation," said Blade with a sigh. Later, Dusty's radio crackled to life. His friends from Propwas Junction were calling. They had bad news. "We've called every parts supplier, repair shop, and junkyard in the country," they explained. Sadly, nobody had the parts Dottie needed to fix Dusty's engine. Suddenly, an alarm rang. A lightning storm had started several fires. Blade told Dusty what to do, but he wasn't paying attention. Dusty dumped all of his fire retardant on the first fire. He didn't save any for the next one. Blade wasn't happy. "You need to listen to me," he yelled. Dusty tried to fix his mistake by scooping water out of the river, but a strong crosswind made him lose control, and he skittered across the choppy waves. The raging river dragged Dusty toward a waterfall. "Push your engine," Blade told him. "Redline it." But Dusty didn't want to risk ruining his engine for good. At the last second, Blade hooked Dusty and pulled him to safety. Dusty was out of the river, but he couldn't fly, and the fire was closing in. Blade led the way to an old mine shaft where they waited for the fire to pass. There, Dusty finally admitted to Blade that his engine was damaged and he would never race again. And that maybe he couldn't be a firefighter either. "If you give up today, think of all the lives you won't save tomorrow," said Blade. Dusty realized that racing wasn't everything. Meanwhile, the fire was threatening the nearby Fusel lodge. The guests had been evacuated, but the road was blocked. They needed help. The firefighters hurried to rescue the guests. It was dangerous to fly after dark, but they had no choice. Dusty and the air attack team went into action, and put out the flames. The guests cheered. But there were still two RVs stuck on a burning bridge. Blade flew in to help, but he couldn't save them on his own. Dusty swooped down, dodging falling rocks and burning trees. In a daring move, he flew straight up the waterfall to refill his water pontoons. His red warning light started flashing, but he ignored it. Dusty dropped his water on the bridge, putting out the fire and saving the RVs. "Good move, partner," Blade said to Dusty. But then, pop, bang! Dusty's engine failed, and he plummeted into the trees. Everything went black. Dusty woke up a few days later at the Piston Peak Air Attack Base. Maru had patched Dusty back together and given the plane a new engine that he'd made from spare parts. "You're fixed," Maru told him. "Hardest thing I've ever done." Dusty was grateful for Maru's help. And that wasn't all. Dusty had proven he had what it took to be a real firefighter. "You've earned that certification," Blade said proudly. Dusty was ready to be a hero, as a racer, and as a life-saving firefighter too.